Hope everyone's doing amazing. My name is EQ and welcome to another episode of Crypto News with Stonkaholics. So on today's episode, we're going to be going over the top 5 cryptocurrencies of the week, Optimism inbound for African cryptocurrency, and everything about NFTs, where the value is, why people are paying so much, so on and so forth. Huge announcement on the Polkadot ecosystem for Polkamon. John McAfee pleads not guilty. Experts are saying that South Korea is going to turn into a monopolized crypto market. We're watching hundreds of exchanges that are going to be erased from South Korea coming soon, including OKEX. And last but not least, we're going to wrap it up with the Russian darknet and what that has to do with Hydra. Before we start this video, guys, if you could please throw a like, subscribe to the channel. Anything that you can do is going to help me out tremendously, and I'm very, very, very grateful for it. So let's get into it. Alright, we're going to start with the top 5 cryptocurrencies to watch this week, which a couple of them we have touched a few times. Bitcoin, Uniswap, Luna, THETA, and Filecoin. Says that they are likely to outperform their competitors if bulls can propel Bitcoin to a new all-time high. Bitcoin's been facing stiff resistance near the 60,000 level for the past few days. Suggests that market participants are cautious at these levels and a positive trigger may be needed to drive the price higher and start the next leg of the uptrend. The Bitcoin ETFs launched by various countries are likely to put pressure on the US SEC to approve a Bitcoin ETF, because if they do not do that, institutional investors may use the alternatives available in neighboring countries. You can see this little chart. If you haven't used one of these before, the website for this is coin360.com. I'll make sure to add it in the bio for this video. But I'm sure you've seen this before for the stock market. People are finally using it for crypto. It's one of my favorite tools. I use it all the time. Love it. Bitcoin seems to be consolidating its recent gains before starting the next trending move, but there are several cryptocurrencies that are in an uptrend and may continue their march north. So we're going to skip through Bitcoin because we all know where that one's going, to the moon. Start with Uniswap. Currently consolidating between $28 and $35. The bulls attempted to resume the uptrend on March 20th, but the long wick on the candlestick and a close in red suggest profit booking near 35. There hasn't been any follow-up selling today. Both moving averages are sloping up and the RSI is in the positive zone. So if the bulls can propel the price above 35, it's going to break that high and it's going to start the next leg of the uptrend that could take it up to 42. And from there to the 46 range. So the moving averages on the 4-hour chart are flattened out and the RSI is just above the midpoint, which is suggesting a balance between supply and demand. If the price dips below the moving average, a drop to 27.97 is possible. A bounce off this support could extend the stay of the pair inside the range. Moving on to Luna, the Vortex score, which is exclusive to Cointelegraph, is an algorithmic comparison of historic and current market conditions derived from a combination of data points including market sentiment, trading volume, recent price movements, and Twitter activity. So the chart above shows the Vortex score climbed steadily from 62 to 76 on March 18th, well before the price picked up momentum on March 19th. Since then, the Vortex score has remained bullish and has not fallen below 65. Meanwhile, Luna continued to move up and reached $22 on March 21st in tandem with Vortex's score, which hit 77. Luna is in a strong uptrend as it continues to make record highs on a daily basis. The bears attempted to stall the uptrend on March 17th but could not keep the price down for more than a day, which suggests strong buying on every minor dip. So the long wick on the March 19th candlestick shows profit booking at higher levels, but the bulls again bought the dip and have pushed the price to a new all-time high today. This suggests trend remains intact. We're talking about these candles in this general area. Both moving averages are sloping up and the RSI is above 84, indicating that bulls are in control. The next target objective is $27. Vertical rallies are rarely sustainable, therefore traders may wait for a correction or a consolidation to initiate fresh positions rather than chase the price higher. A break below 1850 could result in a drop to the 20-day EMA on the 4-hour chart. which is around $15. A strong rebound off this support will suggest the sentiment remains bullish as traders are buying the dips, but a break below the 20-day EMA could signal the start of a deeper correction. Moving on to THETA. THETA has been in a strong uptrend for the past few days. The token rose to all-time highs at $9 on March 19th, but witnessed profit booking at higher levels as seen from the long wick on the day's candlestick. See all these massive candles up here where everyone was selling off. The shallow correction on March 20th showed that traders were buying the dips and not rushing to the exit. During strong uptrends, the pullbacks are generally short-lived. The bulls have again pushed the price to a new all-time high today, which shows the resumption of the trend. The THETA USD pair could rally to 1035 and then to 1235. The upsloping moving averages and the RSI in the overbought zone suggest the bulls are in command. But keep this in mind, this bullish view will invalidate if the bears sell at a higher level and pull the price back below $7.99. If that happens, it will suggest the current breakout was a bull trap. Last but not least, we're going to go over Filecoin. So Filecoin's token is in a strong uptrend after its sharp rally on the 16th and 17th. Short-term traders seem to have booked profits, which has resulted in a minor correction on March 18th. However, the shallow pullback is a positive sign as it shows that the majority of the traders are not rushing to the exit. So the bulls are attempting to keep the FIL USD pair above $73, which is just below the 3820 Fibonacci, which is the golden ratio, which is 75.74. If the bulls succeed, the pair could rise again to 96.66. A breakout and close above this resistance could start the next leg of the uptrend, which could reach 128. On the contrary, if the bears sink the price below 73, the pair could drop to the 20-day EMA, which is around $60, and a strong rebound off of this is an indicator that the trend remains positive, but a break will suggest a short-term top may be in place. So definitely keep an eye out for those coins coming in this week. I know THETA's been pumping the last couple days, so that's a great sign. So we're getting some optimism abound for crypto and blockchain adoption at Virtual Blockchain Africa. So the first ever virtual version of Blockchain Africa delivered an optimistic outlook for the cryptocurrency and blockchain space in the continent as the world settles into a new normal dictated by COVID. The conference featured a number of well-known industry commentators, participants, and thought leaders from around the world who addressed a completely virtual audience. A major highlight of the conference was an insightful keynote from Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson on Africa's burgeoning position as a hotbed for cryptocurrency and blockchain adoption and development. So an all-you-can-eat buffet of progress, Hoskinson's address at Blockchain Africa painted a bright future for the continent, likening Africa's position as an emerging economy to that of China in the 1980s. In the past 3 decades, China has become a global powerhouse, and Hoskinson asserted his belief that Africa could follow in its footsteps and even surpass the Asian powerhouse. The key to the accelerated development is Africa's position as a marketplace for completely new systems like blockchain, which will bring efficiency and lower costs, resulting in what Hoskinson described as a huge competitive advantage to nations that adopt them first. But while Hoskinson painted a bright picture of Africa's potential, the continent still has some teething problems to address as it begins to adopt new technology. One of the main challenges for us is that we don't have enough safe access points for people to use their local currency to buy crypto and vice versa across Africa. So regulation or lack thereof is another challenge for cryptocurrency exchanges and service providers in Africa. Wrights highlighted the fact that banks are having to play the role of regulator at this nascent stage of cryptocurrency use in Africa. We're seeing very little regulatory guidance across Africa, and the result of that is that the banks are being made the de facto regulators, and that's a big risk to crypto businesses because customers can't use your products effectively. And it goes on to say Nigerians have been excluded from the economic prosperity. When all this happened, Bitcoin was sitting around 38,000 and people were saying, hey, I want to get into Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin's sitting around 60,000, and all of that prosperity that someone might have received getting into Bitcoin has all been missed. We see such an aggression uptake in Africa because in addition to the investment case, cryptocurrencies also solve some of our pain points. Inefficiencies in payment systems, expensive and long remittances, being able to make and receive micropayments. We're seeing a lot of these things occurring in the African market. So hopefully we continue to get very positive news out of the African blockchain market. Hopefully they get to the point where they can take over Asia, because that would be great for them. So non-fungible tokens and the new patronage economy. NFTs don't have to be more than niche to have a big impact on the economies of art. So NFTs for art and culture have been making waves in recent weeks. They offer ownership, They offer ownership, cryptographic, certain, secure ownership, but none of the exclusive rights we usually associate with ownership. You can freely stare at my 2 miserable crypto kitties as easily as I can explore people's $69 million everydays. There's an obvious question here. What are people actually buying when they buy an NFT? The slightly counterintuitive answer suggests that what we're seeing with NFTs is the emergence of a new type of cultural economy built around one of the oldest forms of cultural production, patronage. So let's talk about the theory of property rights. For example, you can own something without possessing it. You can possess something without having the right to transfer it. You can control something without having the right to exclude others from enjoying it. Property rights are highly divisible. I can write a contract to transfer my property to you, but at the same time specify that I retain physical access or a revenue stream. To buy an NFT of a piece of art is to own something without having the means of excluding others from enjoying it, or at least enjoying looking at it, watching it, or listening to it. The pleasure a buyer gets from owning something is the experience of ownership itself. How much is that experience worth? The wild prices we're seeing in NFTs right now is the process of price discovery for the value of this pure ownership. Ownership as consumption only sounds weird if you don't think about it for very long. There's a long tradition in the art world of owning art and letting it to a museum appropriately acknowledged for the public to enjoy. Some of the world's private collections of art are held in free port storage facilities where they are seen rarely, if at all. To be fair, high-cost ownership as consumption is a niche pastime, but here's where NFTs are potentially very interesting. They don't have to be more than niche to have a big impact on the economies of art. An artist who receives one payment from a wealthy NFT investor is no worse off than an artist who receives a large number of smaller payments from cultural consumers. In fact, they're probably better off. The NFT-funded artist can continue to work in the open cultural space to gain fans, sell tickets, market merchandise, or just get his or her art out to as wide as public as possible. This is why one of the main criticisms for the cultural community, that NFTs look like a step toward a digital rights management dystopia, the creation of walled gardens that narrows who can access cultural artifacts, is so off the mark. NFTs allow us to financialize culture, but at the same time leave it open access for anyone to view, watch, or listen to. NFTs offer the benefits of patronage without the well-understood cost. Wealthy individuals can continue to support art and enjoy the experience of ownership, rather than relying on a small community of the rich in, say, Venice. Digital artists can immediately reach a global supply of patrons. The ownership of art can be demonstrated, cryptographically proven if really necessary, to all who the patron seeks to impress with her impeccable taste, but at the same time the art itself remains free for the public to enjoy. This looks like the old patronage economy, but without the exclusion we normally associate with patronage. So as NFTs grow and expand, we're going to see a bunch of things coming in and out and how they can truly affect our lifestyle and economies. Alright, so Polkamon announces Polkastarter IDO for PMON. These little fancy creatures. Polkamon is thrilled to announce our forthcoming IDO on the premier decentralized fundraising platform Polkastarter. Just 3 days ago, we introduced to you the manifold universe of Polkamon. Since coming out of stealth, we've been completely overwhelmed by the amount of support and interest we have received from the community. We want to thank all of our community members for their support. Within 72 hours, we grew the community to more than 8,000 followers on Twitter and 5,000 members across our Telegram group. Now it's time to give them a chance to participate in the PMON IDO on Polkastarter. Details on PMON whitelist opening date, minimum and maximum allocations, as well as price will be communicated soon. So yeah, Polkastarter is a permissionless decentralized exchange built for cross-exchange token pools and auctions, enabling projects to raise capital on a decentralized and operable environment based on Polkadot. With Polkastarter, decentralized projects will be able to raise and exchange capital cheap and fast. Users will be able to participate in a secure and compliant environment and use assets that go way beyond the current ERC20 standards. So Pokemon are exquisitely animated digital collectibles created using blockchain technology. Each Pokemon is backed by a truly unique NFT that is indistinguishable from any other NFT and can be unpacked with PMON tokens, the native ERC20 token on the Pokemon platform. So each collectible is inimitable, authentic, and differs in rarity. The Pokemon NFT collection can easily be integrated into modern games, art, and other blockchain-connected products. I'm curious to see where this goes. I know this name is obviously really close to Pokemon, but it kind of reminds you of Neopets and Pokemon mixed together, so I guess we'll see what happens with this. So John McAfee, security guard, pleads not guilty to crypto fraud charges. So John McAfee was accused of conspiring with his boss in a crypto fraud case. He had pled not guilty. Jimmy Gale Watson Jr., who was indicted earlier this month alongside the controversial tech entrepreneur, pleaded not guilty in a filing with U.S. Magistrate Judge Kevin Fox in the Southern District of New York on Monday. He is alleged by the U.S. Department of Justice to have duped cryptocurrency investors out of more than $13 million alongside McAfee, who is also being charged with several counts of wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering. The defendants allegedly used McAfee's Twitter account to tout various digital currencies, driving up their value before selling them. They are claimed to have used misleading statements and have not disclosed that they were paid for promotions. The pump and dump scheme, according to prosecutors, banked McAfee and Watson more than $2 million in profit, while the recommended altcoins declined substantially in value. We'll see what happens with good old John McAfee in that court case. So experts say new South Korean crypto rules will create a monopolized market. Blockchain industry members claim that the smaller scale startups have struggled to forge partnerships with local banks in South Korea and are therefore unable to register under regulators' new requirements. South Korea is heading into a new period for its crypto industry, with stringent new rules coming into effect on March 25th that will require all cryptocurrency businesses to comply with the new crypto reporting regulations and registration rules. Industry experts fear that the impact of the new measures, specifically the incoming Specific Financial Transactions Act, will have damaging consequences for most domestic cryptocurrency firms. The act requires that all virtual asset operators to seek official registration, for which they must show evidence that they are operating using real name accounts at South Korean banks. While this is intended to prevent financial crimes such as money laundering, the vast majority of smaller scale crypto firms have reportedly thus far been unable to forge partnerships with local financial institutions. So many crypto exchanges have tried to abide by the new law by getting real name accounts from the local banks, but it didn't work. Even those accounts that are equipped with information security management systems have CEOs with no criminal records were not able to forge a partnership with banks. The new law, which fails to differentiate between crypto firms of different types and sizes, risks pushing smaller firms into a corner and creating a market in which only the 4 largest exchanges are able to operate in a compliant manner. Out of over 100 local exchanges, this is exactly the number that have so far reportedly been able to secure the necessary bank accounts. And that about wraps up our second episode of Crypto News. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Crypto News with Stonkaholics. Once again, go down below into the links if you want to join our Discord group, get into our academy. Please like, comment, subscribe on this video. Anything you can do, it's really going to help me out. And I can't wait to grow with you guys.